effects. Lashes still aren't dry, so just kind of leave them there. But if you put on a little bit, they're going to dry a lot faster. If you put on a lot, it's going to take a lot longer. I usually put on a lot of foundation just for force of habit. I had really bad acne when I was a kid. I had really bad acne, and I still have some more. It's more adult acne. And I use a foundation brush. I use just like a little $2 sponge, those triangle sponges that look like this. It's just like a little triangle sponge. You can get them in a pack of however many, and they're like $2. But today I think I'm just gonna use my fingers because it just seems easier for teaching purposes. So just rub it in. And I usually drag it down my neck area because when I wear foundation, it sometimes decides to match, other times it doesn't. And the purpose of dragging it down is just so if it doesn't like totally match, and even if it does, it's not spot on, you're gonna have this jawline of foundation and everybody's gonna see your beauty mask. Don't go past your eyeliner, but this is also where I clean up some of my eyeshadow. And just get everywhere. If you need to apply more foundation than I did, go for it. If you need to apply less, then apply less. I mean, I feel like I'm mentioning the obvious right now. Alright. Kind of get it everywhere, don't have any missing spots. This foundation is really good because it's really full coverage. Like if you have acne like me, my nose always itches. When you have acne like me, you need the most fullest foundation that you can afford. And when I'm broke, I can usually afford the L'Oreal foundation. They also have an infallible line. It's what I showed you, but it's not in the glass bottle. It's in the tube, and they compare it to MAC Pro Longwear foundation, and I think it performs the same too. All right, so you have on your foundation. Woohoo! I feel like I missed some spots. Don't miss any spots, guys. All right. And this is where I go in with my concealer. I use the same concealer that I did at the beginning of the video, and I apply a generous amount. I don't have necessarily dark circles, but I do have an obsession with concealer. The point of concealer, and you don't have to use it if you don't want to, the point of concealer is to brighten up the center of your face, or at least under your eyes. A lot of people do it to make them look more awake. A lot of people do it because it makes them look better in pictures. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm going to use the same fingers that I used to apply my foundation. You can use different fingers if you want to. Wow, I put on a lot. And I tap mine in. I don't smear or rub mine in because I don't feel like I get the most coverage that way. And I try not to get too close to my inner corner highlight, but even if I do, I'm going to apply more if I have to. And I just drag it out to my temples because I usually put a lot on and I need to put it somewhere. Alright, now there's some girls who apply their concealer under their eyes, right here in their T-zone and on their chin area. I'm just making sure everything's rubbed in correctly and fully. All right, I'm gonna take, we're almost done. I'm gonna take my eyelashes. They're actually dry. They should be dry right now. I take my lashes, and if you don't have tweezers, you're gonna be at a bit of a disadvantage, but not too much because you can still apply them. Make sure there's not any fuzz on your lashes like there usually is on mine. All right, I start out by holding the end of the lash, and I put it like on the end of my eye, not too far out. I put it on the end of my eye because I don't want it too close to the inner corner. That's what bugs me the most. Because if it's too close in the inner corner, you're gonna cry it off. Start out by putting it on the middle right there, on the end. Sorry, on the end. Take your tweezers, apply it on the inner corner. And then you can press it down in the middle. Dude, these look so amazing. These just look so amazing. They just look so amazing. All right, now this is how I do my lashes. I don't put on my lashes directly on my lash line. I never do that. I used to do that. I don't like doing it anymore. When I put down the end of my lashes, I put it a little further up than my actual lash line is. Let me see if I can put them on right. Gotta check, because these are drying. I usually put it on a little bit further up than my lash line is because it gives me more of a lash lift, a little more of a dramatic cat eye effect, and that's just how I've always done my lashes. I always put them up, and that's one of the reasons why I look for a darker liquid liner. This has been a 40-minute video. A darker eyeliner, because I want people to tell that's not on my lash line, because you can tell if you don't wear any eyeliner with this look. So you do the same thing over here. And when you lift it up some, you end up not having to trim your lash. If that makes any sense. Because when you put on your lash and you realize and you feel like it's too long, so you put on your lash, and when you lift it up some, it not only elongates your eye, it gives you some extra slack, so you don't have to put it so close to the inner corner, because that's like the danger zone. You don't want to put it too close to the inner corner, because like I said, your eye is gonna get it's gonna feel it. It's gonna kind of like, it's not gonna like irritate your eye, but it's gonna make your eyes water. So I just put it on up and a little bit out, not too far up, not too far out, and I just make sure that they're even, that they're lifted evenly, that everything is symmetrical. And I'm just gonna use my fingers because a lot of people don't have the same brushes, so I'm gonna take that same powder that we used to set that I used to set my concealer before we put on any eyeshadow, and I'm gonna use it to set my under eye. So just take some powder on your finger. I use like the brand Unique. I use the ColourPop powder. I don't know if there's any names on it. I'll have to find the name and add it in a comment section or something. And I just dust it on my eye. I don't smear it, I don't streak it, I just dust it on very lightly, not like super light, because I mean we want it applied. And I add some kind of halfway down too, kind of halfway down my eye, just to make sure everywhere I set concealer is set. I don't go too far out to my temple because, like I said, I just need somewhere to put the concealer. Now the point of this powder is so your concealer doesn't crease, as your eye naturally creases. Under here, under your eye, there's crease lines, and if you don't set it with powder to make it stay, to make the concealer stay and not crease, it's gonna crease, girl, and that usually ruins my day. It's a day ruiner. All right, now I've got to get ready to go. Good thing we're halfway done. Good thing we're halfway done. Not halfway done, mostly done. All right. Now I'm gonna take, I can't bronze with my fingers. I'm gonna figure out a way though. And I'm gonna use, I use two different types of bronzers because my skin doesn't know what shade it wants to be usually. So I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal True Match powder, L'Oreal True Match, whoop, in the color Caramel Beige. I'm gonna swirl it into my angled Morphe brush and go under my cheekbone. I forgot to set the rest of my face with powder, but it's okay. Go under my cheekbone, and let me see, 2 fingers away from the edge of my lips. 2 fingers away, that's where my powder stops. And same thing to the other side, under your cheekbone. Some people do the fish lips. I don't see how that helps at all, but if it helps you, you do you. Drag it up to your forehead. A lot of people, you might have heard this, the phrase like a 3 shape. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to take a darker contour in the shade Medium Deep, swirl it around in my brush, go over what I just did because I want like more of it slims your face, but like I said, I'm just obsessed with bronzer contour. I drag it down my neck because I want everything to match, but today I'm kind of suddenly in a hurry, so it'll turn out fine when you're done. Don't overanalyze it, it'll be fine. I used to not wear blush. You don't have to wear blush if you don't want to. I use an eyeshadow. I've got to go and my hair's still wet. I use an eyeshadow called Clover by Veramona, especially when I'm doing pink looks. And I'll put it right above where I just did my bronzer. Now, I'm familiar with blush and how to use it, but when you're using it for the first time, especially for the first time, you want to start out with a little bit at first and then gradually build, because I've made the mistake of putting on too much blush at first because I'm like, I'm a beauty guru, I know what I'm doing, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I put on way too much, and now I just look like a overly blushed blusher. Alright, so I think that's it. Oh, I do my lower lash line too, so I just use the same pencil that I used for my upper waterline. Generously put it on the lower waterline. This is where my eyes start watering. I don't contour my nose. You might find a lot of extra things that really popular beauty artists do, and I don't do those things. Mostly because I'm just kind of happy with how my makeup turns out, but then again, I'm just like, I don't really have the patience to learn all that, and blah, 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 blah. My hair is still wet, but I just need it to dry a certain way. And I take the, you're gonna have to be real careful. You're gonna have to be, I'm trying to do it the easiest way possible, but I'm taking the eyebrow brush that we just used, and I'm going in with that same brown, very little bit, because we're working with small space here, and dust it under. I'm not tapping, I'm not dusting, I am going over, I'm physically like going over it in small strokes. That's the word I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. So you can look like this. And then I take a brush that has either never been used before or already has the same color on it. What did I do with my eyeshadow palette? What did I do with it? No, oh, here it is. And I go in with that same bright pink color that we very first started out with, and I go over the dark brown that I just used, and I smoke it out because we're doing a pink look and I want it smoky, because I don't know how to not be smoky. I don't know. Don't start out with a lot, like I said, if you're not familiar with this. Start out with a little bit, build gradually, because usually once you put it on, there's not a really easy way to go back from it. There just isn't. Now, I don't think I'm gonna have time to dry my hair suddenly. So this is where I hope that I did a good job on my face and nobody will notice my hair. Take some extra sanitizer unless you ran your fingers through your hair like I just did. Now all the makeup is gone and in your hair, in your clean hair. All right, so that's basically how I do a mermaid look. That's, I mean, it's not super hard. It's rather easy. That's how I do it.